Professor Clemens, and he's going to present you this new field at the University of Bayreuth. So Professor Clemens, the floor is now yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us here. So as you heard, my name is Stefan Clemens. I'm a biologist. So I'm a professor of plant physiology at the University of Bayreuth. But today I'm talking to you, or actually I'm rather hoping to respond also to questions from your side about food and health as the founding dean of a new faculty that is trying to establish at the moment. And this will be the major topic today. And I will start to share my screen now to go through a few slides with you. So I hope everybody can see the presentation now. So food and health science is our topic today. And as I indicated, we'll actually focus on the major activity in this field currently at the University of Bayreuth. And this is to establish a new faculty of life sciences, food, nutrition, and health. And let me try to explain to you with a few slides why we're doing this, in what direction we are headed, and a little bit about the current status of this project. So why are we doing this? Why are we establishing a new faculty for food, nutrition, and health? And I should also say we're actually establishing this new faculty in a town near Bayreuth. I'll show you a map in a minute, in Kulmbach. And I will also try to explain why we're doing it there. So the first thing I want to bring up is something that I'm sure you all are aware of. I just want to remind you of a few facts here, a few of the major challenges that we as a global community are facing. So we all know that we have to make the production of food more sustainable. And we also still have a long way to go to produce sufficient quantities of nutritious food around the world. We also need better health promotion and especially prevention of non-communicable diseases. Right now, we're all dealing with an infectious disease, obviously, and this is really dominating our minds and our activities, the COVID-19 pandemic. But we shouldn't forget about the non-communicable diseases that are actually mostly related to our lifestyle. And also to ensure food quality and safety in a globalized world, that's another challenge. COVID-19 actually made us aware of the fact that our food supply chains are quite vulnerable, and we should also improve the way we manage those. So those are challenges that motivate our project. You could say that you can actually combine various challenges here in one syndemic. So the idea of this term syndemic is that you have closely associated, closely related pandemics. And here I'm not talking about COVID-19, but about the pandemics of obesity, of undernutrition, and of climate change that are all tightly linked. And this is a major orientation for our project. Obviously, we're not going to solve all these problems, but we're trying with this new faculty to contribute some meaningful research and teaching that is oriented towards this syndemic. Just a couple of slides to further remind you of the problems. Diabetes. This is truly a pandemic. It's affecting about 400 million people now in the world. Diabetes type 2 is on the rise in every single country in the world. So no country has managed yet to bring the numbers down. So it's ever increasing, and it's truly a global problem, as those bubbles here indicate. I also want to mention as an example micronutrient deficiencies, the so-called hidden hunger. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, we have about 2 billion people around the world that are not supplied with sufficient amounts of bioavailable micronutrients. You see here highlighted vitamin A deficiency, anemia, that's actually a proxy for iron deficiency, and also a zinc deficiency. You see that certain countries are more affected than others, but it's actually an open question to what extent even the populations in the industrialized countries are affected by micronutrient deficiencies. And there, I'm not going to go into any detail here. This is just to illustrate the complexity of our food systems. This is the question of managing supply chains, processing of food, the production. All this is another major challenge. And if we want to make food systems more sustainable, then there are lots of things, lots of aspects that we have to take into account and that we have to work on improving. So what we're trying now, in order to be able to, as I said, contribute meaningful research and teaching towards, solving some of these problems, towards facing up to those challenges, we're in the process of establishing an interdisciplinary new faculty. What I'm going to show you next is a bit complex. I'm not going to go to all the details here. This is more to give you a general idea about the overall direction. So we are trying to combine life sciences, data sciences on the one hand, and those are the bluish colors here, bluish background colors, with social sciences, humanities on the other hand, and those are the greenish colors here. And what I highlighted in red are professorships that we have already filled or that we are in the process of filling. So we're in the process of recruiting. So currently we have 6 professors recruited for our new faculty, 3 more processes are ongoing, and another 4 will start very soon. So we already recruited a professor of food law, one of food supply chain management, one of public health, nutrition, global nutrition and health is still ongoing. Nutritional biochemistry is already filled. Food metabolome is filled. Ongoing is digital health, crop plant genetics. And we're gonna move forward now in the coming weeks with health law, with microbial biochemistry, nutrition physiology, molecular sports physiology. So we're trying to establish, in the end, a group of maybe 20 to 25 professors in these different fields. And we want to, from the start, encourage very close interaction between these different disciplines. So ideally, we want to have the biochemist working next door to the law professor in order to directly encourage interaction. Where are we doing this? So here you can see a map. So Bayreuth is in the north of Bavaria. You can see in the bottom right corner, you see an aerial view of the campus in Bayreuth. And then you can see Kulmbach when you move from Bayreuth to the northwest. It's about 25 kilometers through a very pleasant landscape. So I often take the train to Kulmbach and then take the bike back. So it's always a nice tour and a nice workout. So there are very good train connections. Still, you might ask why we're establishing a faculty in a new place, why we're establishing a second campus in Kulmbach. So a major reason is that Kulmbach is a food city. So again, I'm not going to go to all the details, just want to highlight here that we have a lot of food industry in Kulmbach. We have research institutes that are focusing on food quality. We have various government agencies, and also the University of Bayreuth has been present already for a number of years with the research unit on food quality. And we have the chair of bioanalytical sciences and food analytics also in Kulmbach. And we're trying to now add to this existing food cluster a new campus focused on food, nutrition, and health. So just to give you a bit of a flavor of the first activities and the first few people that we recruited. So I draw this axis here. So we have two major fields that we focus on initially. One is food quality and safety. The other one is prevention of disease. And the overarching theme here is the Sustainable Development Goals set by the UN a few years ago. So we have already recruited, as I said, a professor of food law, a specialist we recruited from the University of Wageningen. And this is actually the first university professor of food law that we have in Germany. So this is one of the major emphases that we have, that we really stress the law, the regulatory aspect of questions related to food, nutrition, and health. We are in the process of recruiting somebody for crop plant genetics. We do want to place emphasis on genome editing, on new breeding technologies. And this is obviously a direct interaction here also with the food law, with regulatory processes. You all probably know that, that we're still far from actually applying those techniques in an efficient way in Europe. But hopefully this is going to change. We already filled this job for food metabolome. So we are trying to establish a mass spec-based unit, a key facility for mass spectrometry, and we'd like to focus a lot of attention on the composition of food with this food metabolome group here. And we also just hired an economist for the food supply chain management, somebody who's focusing on the modeling of distribution pathways. And we're very excited to have somebody here that we recruited from Vienna. On the other hand, we have the prevention of disease, and we have already filled public health nutrition. Global nutrition and health is ongoing. Those fields are very closely associated and are meant to closely interact with one of the big strength of Bayreuth, the African studies. So Africa Multiple is the cluster of excellence that we have. So we'd like to take a global perspective here that is focusing a bit on Africa. And we have digital health ongoing. We have a connection here to another established field at the University of Bayreuth, that's health economics. Just like food law, I mean, this is a traditional strength of the University of Bayreuth, and it's all contributing to this new faculty here and this new project. We also hired already nutritional biochemistry on the life sciences part and hired nutrition sociologists. This is again a pioneering project in a way in Germany. So this is a very small field, and we're trying to expand this field by introducing this group here working on nutrition sociology. So these are just ideas of what the research direction will be. We're also starting study programs here, so bachelor and master programs. And this is really a major part of the idea behind this new faculty, that unlike in other universities in Germany, we really want to do most of the teaching in English, and we want to recruit internationally. So to a much larger extent than is usual. So you can see here in red all the programs that will be taught in English. There will be a couple that will be taught in German to have an offer also, especially for German students. But most of the programs will be taught entirely in English, and hopefully this could also be interesting for students then from Bordeaux and from other places. And obviously we'll also have PhD programs that will also all be English speaking. So I highlighted here the food quality and safety because this was the first program that we started November last year. So we recruited a few pioneering students that actually help us also in establishing the whole faculty. And then you see the start dates for Global Food, Nutrition and Health in April, and then our first German-speaking bachelor here. So to give you a flavor of the food quality and safety master, so we're combining here biology and biochemistry of food with food law, with food supply chain management, with human biology. So a truly interdisciplinary study program. And we're really happy to see that this program actually attracts a lot of attention internationally. So our first cohort is actually 90% international students. And also the applicants now for the second cohort that we'll admit then in April is also roughly 90% international. So we really hope to establish something here that has visibility and also adds really something new to the existing programs. The Global Food, Nutrition and Health is another one that will start in April. Again, highly interdisciplinary, so the life sciences aspects are a bit smaller in this one, and we have a lot more cultural and social sciences here. There will be a focus also on, as I said, Africa here, and so production, trade, consumption of food in a global context with a particular emphasis here on Africa. Okay, with that, I'm actually at the end of my short presentation here. I really do hope that you'll have questions for me that I'll be happy to at least try to answer. And if you have, any interest in more information, obviously we have websites, but you're also very welcome to contact me directly. So thanks for listening for now, and I'll stop the screen sharing now and look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Clements. So as you heard, we are waiting, he's waiting for your questions. So to do so, please write your name in the Q&A tab. Claire, you have already a question, great. So I'm opening the mic for you, and now you should be able to talk.
Do you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. So my name is Claire Lehenaf, and I'm the Vice President for International Affairs at Bordeaux INP. On the Bordeaux site, we are delivering a master degree in engineering, and we have a program in food sciences covering what you have nicely been showing us. And I am myself a food microbiologist, so I'm also teaching in this program. My question is, so we are very interested, of course, in what you're doing, and I think that you were really the right thing. I think is really to teach in English. I think that's the key. And the question I had is to know if every semester, well, the program is given every semester or once a year?
So we decided to initially start it twice a year, just because we didn't know how the interest would develop, so to fill the program quickly. But we will, at some point, we will start most of these programs then in October for the winter semester. But right now, there's recruiting also for April. So we're actually interviewing a lot of students currently, really from all over the world. It's a lot of fun to also learn a lot about the different backgrounds of students from African, Asian, European countries. But to cut it short, it will at some point we'll switch to to admission in October.
All right.
And let me add, we would be very interested in talking about potential exchange of students at some point.
Yeah, that was my second question. What's about the exchange? People from Bayreuth coming to France and coming to Bordeaux. We are not so good as we are. We are teaching our programs in food sciences. We have, I would say, 20 to 30% in English, but not everything in English. So my question was, What's about the language? Are they proficient in a second language, or what's the situation in Beirut?
Yeah, I would, you know, we're learning about the background of our students. So right now, most of our students are proficient in English, but not proficient enough in a second or third language. So most of them, you know, took a bachelor program in English, and this is the qualification actually that we check, whether they have you know, TOEFL scores that are high enough and a Cambridge proficiency test. But we might find ways to get away with a 20 or 30%. So we could maybe, if we want to establish an exchange program, we could maybe open, or you could open certain courses for students coming from Bayreuth, because I think in general their interest is really high. I mean, these are really adventurous and very ambitious students. You know, that some of them managed to come to Kulmbach in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we were really amazed how somebody from Ecuador managed to arrive in Kulmbach. So, and I'm sure they'd be thrilled to go to Bordeaux as well.
Yeah, and especially in the novel program that we have with the Erasmus Agency, I think that there are nice new opportunities and to exchange students. And I think that, yeah, that would be lovely to perhaps we could exchange later on, and so that I can show you also our programs, all the programs.
Yeah, I'd love to. Let's keep that in mind and get back.
We'll see with Berenice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Claire. So the next question is coming from Ardi Agbevey. I hope I didn't misspell your name. Sorry for that. You can ask your question.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. So I am from Ghana. I'm Hadiadem Agbeve from Ghana, and I work with Noguchi Medical Research Center. So my question is, I have been really more inclined to the medical research aspect. So from your presentation, I think it ignited an interest in food safety. So if I want to apply for a program in food safety, are there some requirements I need to meet before I apply for those programs? Or my background in medical research would be a problem? I don't know. I just want to find out from you.
No, I mean, what we ask from our students is to bring, you know, a solid life sciences background to the table. And with the medical training, I mean, you would have that. So, you know, basic knowledge, or, you know, solid knowledge, let's put it that way, in biology, chemistry, biochemistry. So I'm pretty sure that when you're trained in the medical field, you should have all that.
Degree in Ghana.
Yeah. No, this shouldn't be a problem. So this is the one requirement, you know, a solid background in life sciences, and obviously the language proficiency, which shouldn't be a problem either for you. I mean, we had a number of applicants already from Ghana, and they all easily pass the language test. So think about it, and we'd be happy to take a closer look at your application.
Sure.
Next question, Vinay Kumar Palivala. You should unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah,
hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, good evening for this evening. So Professor has a very nice presentation from you. So actually I am from India, and I'm doing my master's in Italy, currently in food science and technology. So I'm about to finish my master's by this May. Actually, I was looking for a PhD position in Europe. So I think University of Beirut is one of the good option for me to come and join with your team and with your faculty. So can you help, like, can you say anything? Is there any requirements to apply in your faculty, like maybe any interview, or after, can I have any stipend if I selected for the lab? So can you please?
Yeah, the process in Germany is a bit different than in many other countries. So it's mostly recruiting directly by the individual PIs. So you should check out our websites and see which of the PIs would fit your own interests, and then contact them directly. So there's no formalized recruitment for a graduate school. The system in Germany works more like that, you know, the different PIs have the funds, maybe, I mean, if they're lucky, they have the funds available to support PhD students, and they recruit them directly. And then they become also part of the graduate school. But it's always an individual recruitment. So if you are interested, for instance, in nutritional biochemistry, you could, you know, you could contact my colleague, Janine Henkel-Oberländer. She just joined our faculty. She will start the lab sometime this year in Kulmbach, and she might be looking for PhD students. Or we have Susanne Baldermann. She's a professor of food metabolome, so a mass spectrometry expert, a food chemist. So if that's more, you know, your interest, then you could also directly contact her. They will all start recruiting very soon, but it's individual with the different PIs. So I would refer you to their web pages and directly. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, but the name of the professors you have said, I can't clearly understand. So can you repeat for me, please? Sorry.
I really suggest you go to the website. I mean, search for the faculty 7 at the University of Bayreuth, and then take it from there. So
okay,
the names are quite complicated, and
yeah, obviously. So thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Just an additional information to that. If you need some help to identify the right researchers, do not hesitate to contact me, because that's actually my job, to help researchers to connect with researchers in Bayreuth. So do not hesitate to send me a message, and I can send you some useful links. And also, if you want, and if you intend to go to Bayreuth for a research project as a PhD or as a postdoc, don't miss maybe the session we are organizing on next Monday, because it's a specific session on funding schemes and how you can fund your mobility to Bayreuth as a PhD candidate or postdoc. So it could be very interesting for you, maybe, to know what funding schemes you can use to implement your mobility project. Next question, maybe. If you don't feel comfortable with talking, of course, you can write your question in the chat box. No more question? Really? You have the chance to meet the head of this new faculty, so that's a perfect opportunity to ask all your questions. No?
And some I might be able to answer.
Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, maybe a last word from you, Professor Clements, before we close the session.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you once more for joining, for your interest in food, nutrition, and health science at the University of Bayreuth. And obviously we're very open. I mean, we're a startup, so to speak. So we're an exciting new project. Hopefully this came across. And yeah, we just look forward to interacting with you in the future. And the first thing that we'll really look into would be an exchange program for students. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this type of interaction. And I'd like to thank Berenice for organizing this session here tonight.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for your participation. As Professor Clemens said, we would be very interesting to collaborate with you. So do not hesitate. As I said, I'm the contact point actually for people in Bordeaux, South Europe and North Africa. But of course, if you're coming from other countries, do not hesitate also to contact me. I would be happy to help. We hope you enjoyed this session, got all the information you need. And if you need, the session will be available online soon in the next few days. So just for you to know, so if you want to have a replay, that will be available quite soon. So we wish you actually a very nice evening, and let's keep in touch then for collaborative projects. Thank you very much, and let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.